Today is April 26, 2020. My name is Charles Suter. In the next 5 minutes, I'll be presenting the subject of the games of life, part 2. A reference for this presentation is a book by Carl Frederick, Playing the Game the New Way. And my main proposition here is that choose to set up and play games you can win. Why would you set up a game that you can't win? A lot of people do that. That's why their life is boring and are unsatisfied. But I'm going to present to you how you can choose and set up games that you can only win and can't lose. Now, I gave a presentation yesterday, part 1. As it turns out, a number of my core customers didn't fully understand the concept. So does that mean that I failed in my attempt? Well, that's not the game that I set up. As a life skills coach, the game I'm playing is to set up presentations that I put on YouTube for people to watch. Just by putting out a presentation, I collect a point. And if it has an impact on anyone, those are bonus points. Now, the fact that some of my core constituents listened to my presentation, it gave me some positive feedback. And I use that positive feedback to present part 2. Those are all bonus points. I cannot lose a game of life that I choose and set up because I can only win and I can never lose. So, if you are bored, then you are engaged in boring games. Don't forget, you get to choose your games and the rules, and by rules I mean the inputs that you select. So if you choose a bad game and you get feedback on that, then change your game or change your rules. Here's a bonus for you. Everyone in life is seeking games worth playing. So if you can create worthwhile games and invite others to join you in them, you're going to be very socially popular. The games start with choosing. In other words, you're going to choose the games that bring you the most satisfaction. And what about the games that brings you the satisfaction? That comes in the doing. If there are things that you enjoy doing, then every time you do them, you get satisfaction. And every time you complete an input, that's a point. A point. Every action has consequences, so doing something, you're going to have some outcomes. And if the having or the outcomes are positive, well, those are just bonus points. You can't always control the having, but you can always control the doing. So you get your basic points right here in the game for doing, and you get some bonus points when your doing produces a positive outcome. So just as a reminder, as the source of all your games, you get to choose your games and your inputs. You have no one to blame but yourself if you're playing boring or unsatisfying games. Games have actions based upon the inputs you provide, but these inputs have to be something you enjoy doing. Otherwise, why play the game if you don't enjoy doing the inputs? Remember, actions have consequences, and your outcomes provide secondary satisfactions if you get them. If you don't get positive consequences, so what? You still win by putting in the input. The best games produce the greatest amount of satisfaction. So if you were to list from highest satisfying to least satisfying things that you enjoy doing, then you'll want to start from the top, pick those games that provide the most satisfaction, and when time runs out, that's where you stop. All games below that point are lesser in value. You don't have time for them anyway. However, if you become game struck, that's a term by Carl Frederick in his book, Playing the Game the New Way. This is basically a situation where you're playing boring games without satisfaction. You must change them either by changing the rules or changing the game. Again, invite others to join you in your games for mutual satisfaction. When you create worthwhile games, everyone will want to join you. Again, you'll be very popular. So, proposition number 3, life is interesting and satisfying when you are the source of your games. When I'm the source of my games, I'm quite satisfied with my life right now. In fact, that's the purpose of a life skills coach, to help people live a more satisfying life. If your life is boring and unsatisfying, blame your games. It's not the outside world that's doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in boring games. Finally, your life today is a perfect reflection of the games you choose to play. So you might ask yourself, well, what am I going to be tomorrow? Well, you are becoming a perfect reflection of the games you choose to play. So choose to play interesting and satisfying games. After all, you do get to choose them. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.